gentlemen, as many of you already know, my name is Magnus Nielsen, and I think many of you also know that I'm a candidate in the forthcoming elections on the 7th of May. I'm one of the very few candidates that is actually standing up on this issue of combating radical Islam and Sharia law, which is just the issue. Thank you. I only hope that by doing this that other people will be willing to stand up for Parliament as well. I'm not going to name the party that I'm standing up for, because it's not really a party political issue. This is an issue that really ought to be taken by every single democratic party in this country. Some of them are very scared, some of them are less scared. And I am certainly not scared to be standing up on this particular issue about combating radical Islam and Sharia law. It's an issue which is now going to become more and more dominant in political life over the next few years, because it's growing in strength, but it's something which we are going to have to meet, because the truth is that this country is at war. It's not a comfortable thought, it's not a thought that we like to entertain, and it's certainly not a thought that the people who govern us want to admit. But this country has been at war with Islam ever since Islam was created 1400 years ago. In fact, Islam has been the enemy of every democratic and free society ever since. And it's gaining strength, and it's not just simply a question of bombing people or cutting their heads off. There's actually an insidious movement to infiltrate all the organs of government into our schools. We have the Trojan horse system. We've also had this abuse in Rotherham, which is now coming to light, something which has been going on for years and years, and now, it's only now that eventually people are now beginning to talk about it. So, as I say, we're at war, and we have to respond accordingly, and that doesn't mean that we have to resort to the violence. We don't have to come down to their moral level, but what we do have to do is be prepared to stand up and tell the truth about Islam, and whatever the consequences, because we will have to show courage, and we will have to show discipline. That is the way that we will win wars. We will have to show the same sort of spirit that was shown by our parents and by our grandparents during the Second World War. You got up in the morning, you had no idea whether you were going to be alive in the evening, but you carried on, and you showed that solidarity and determination that you were going to win, and that's eventually that is going to carry us through. So what we're looking for is really a cultural change. The people who think that Islam is a religion of peace, those people are not fit to govern us, and they will have to be, they'll either have to change their minds or they'll have to be replaced. Now then, as I say, what can be done by a small minority, a determined minority, one that is properly organised and has a sense of direction, you can achieve great things. What you simply have to do, Islam is a lot weaker than it appears, and you just simply have to keep telling the truth over and over again in little demonstrations like this. This is something where it just starts from, but it can grow and it can multiply. Don't worry at this stage about having low numbers. It's the quality of the people who turn up, the dedication to actually seeing that things change, that will really be important. Tell the truth about Muhammad. Once upon a time, fascism, Nazism was a tremendous force in Europe. So was Soviet communism. I can remember being born into a world where we thought that the communists would be in power forever. That all collapsed towards the end of the 80s. So Islam can collapse in exactly the same way. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we're now coming up to a general election, an election on the 7th of May, and I'm going to urge everyone to go to your members of Parliament and ask them questions about Islam and the influence that it's having on our society. And even after you've elected them into office, then you go on, you keep writing letters, keep organising yourselves. We have a democracy in this country. I know it's one that's very threadbare, but it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to make it work efficiently, to keep exercising your democratic rights to elect people to Parliament, but also to make certain that those people are held accountable for the promises that they've made at the elections. And go on, because there are people, I'm sure, like me, who will also be quite willing to stand up and say, you know, what it is necessary to say, and to make certain that our children and our grandchildren inherit the privileges that we have experienced now in our own society, so that we'll be able to continue into the future. It's a question of just showing that little bit of elementary bravery that people have done in past generations to make certain that we can carry on into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.